Here with our Week 12 Perfect World 2020 Sim Redo recap here. So again, we have had 12 weeks now of the NFL season. So if you subscribe to the quarters of the season, now 3 quarters are over, which means we're going to get stat updates as well at the end of this video, as well as our first look at the playoff picture. So without further ado, let's take a look at what happened in Week 12. Texans beat the Lions 24-21. Football team beats the Cowboys 23-17. Ravens take care of the Steelers. We watched that one a little bit earlier. 24-14. 49-14. The Titans are just murdering people right now, and that is the Week 13 opponent for the Browns. So huge matchup coming up. How about the Giants getting after the Bengals 49-10. 30-13. The Buffalo Bills finally get themselves a win. Needed one in an absolutely brutal way. Raiders taking care of the Falcons. We watched the Browns beat the Jaguars. Again, it's a slightly different score than the one you saw because Kit and I have 2 different systems. All of the records, of course, are identical, though. Miami 24-14 in the battle of pretty rough teams there. Patriots a 1-point squeaker over top of the Cardinals. How about the Panthers taking care of the Vikings? Saints over Broncos. San Francisco over the LA Rams. Tampa Bay beat the Chiefs. Again, we watched that one, a slightly different score there as well. 31-15 Packers, and the Seahawks continuing to take care of business, beating the Eagles on Monday night. So let's take a quick look at the standings as currently constituted here. Again, after 12 weeks. In the AFC North, thanks to that Ravens win and that Browns win, we actually have a Browns 7-4 all alone on a 3-game winning streak atop the division. Steelers at 6-5, 5-6 for the Bengals and Ravens now. AFC South, how about that? They've already clinched a playoff berth. They could lose out and still make the playoffs. 11-0 are the Titans. Texans trying to hang close firmly as well in a wild card spot right now. Colts probably outside looking in at this point. AFC East, again, everybody chasing the Patriots. Bills did a good, much-needed win, but 500 now seems to be the best that they can do. AFC West shaping up, and it's going to be the Raiders and the Chiefs coming back down to the line after that tough Chiefs loss again to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. NFC North, Packers just starting to run away with it now, nobody else even over 500. NFC South, still the Panthers are now, look at that, 6 games in a row the Buccaneers have won. So they were 1-5, and they've won 6 in a row now, trending in the right direction, gearing up for a playoff run that I would want to meet them in. 6-5 has the Cowboys in the lead over the football team. Eagles and Giants playing catch up. And of course the West, where the strength was, and now they're coming back down to little earth a little bit. But how about the Seahawks 10-1, 49ers 9-2, and then the Rams and the Cardinals are both 6-5. Again, let's take a quick look at the power rankings. No surprises except that the Browns are on the list now at 7, which is exciting. How about best worst offenses? First, the Dolphins, Giants, Lions, Eagles, and Bills. Just somehow worst offense. Best offenses, how about the Titans just rolling people? Patriots, Packers, Raiders, Chargers finish out your top 5. Best defense, Titans, Steelers, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, Cowboys. Worst defenses in terms of points, Falcons, Broncos, Jaguars. So yeah, indoor wins. That's very strange. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick look, finishing up here with the standings at the playoff picture. So right now, if the playoffs started today, your first round buys would be the Titans, obviously, and the Seahawks. You can see it would be Patriots and Steelers, as the Steelers and the Raiders, Steelers, Raiders, and Texans right now are the 3 wildcard teams. Division leaders, Patriots, Browns, and Chiefs would fill out the rest of those spots. On the other side, it would be Packers and Rams, and then Buccaneers, Panthers, and Cowboys, 49ers, again, with the Seahawks having the first round bye. So still plenty of time to go to get to that point. But it is the end of another quarter of the season, so we're going to take a look at the season stats as we do during this time. Let's start with the passing stats here. And I apologize, I see some of you commenting. I don't have a device up, so I can't see what those comments are, so I apologize. But thank you for commenting. Baker Mayfield leading the NFL in passing with 3,700 yards, 33 for Herbert, 32 for Rivers are your top passers there. Most completions in the league, Baker Mayfield with 40 more than Phillip Rivers. Most attempts, he is tied also with Phillip Rivers. Touchdowns, however, he is not at the top. We know that. It's Herbert Carr, both with 31. Then you have Newton, Rodgers, and Watson all ahead of him. Let's talk about picks, though. Jimmy G with 13, 14 for Allen, or excuse me, 15, 14 for Allen and Tua. Mayfield then with 13, along with Mahomes, Darnold, and Rivers. So Baker still throwing a lot of picks, unfortunately, but he certainly has been better of late. So these are all the backups that have thrown. We'll look at Baker Mayfield and Russell Wilson. 79% for Baker Mayfield. Completion percentage 73 for Russ, 72 for Aaron Rodgers, 70 for Tannehill and Rivers are the folks who are above that. But let's talk about how many times that they have been sacked. 41 for Stafford, 41 for Rivers. Then you got Tua, Big Ben, Joe Burrow, and then Baker Mayfield right there. So a lot of these guys victims of the dreaded shuffle sack, of course, that we have seen. And it's just been tough sledding for them. How about on the ground? It's going to be Josh Jacobs. The only running back over 1,000 yards right now, 1,027, 989 for McCaffrey. Then you got Derrick Henry, 955. Zeke, Cook, Jones, Mostert, Mixon to kind of round out those top 10 or so. How about yards per carry for people that have more than just 1 yard? So it's going to be actually Kyler Murray at 5.9, and then Mahomes, and then Newton. Interesting. And then you're going to get Josh Jacobs averaging 5.8 a clip for running back. There's McCaffrey at 5.3. So pretty good averages there for those two players. Rushing touchdowns, however, Mike Davis, McCaffrey's teammate, leads. Then you have Fournette, 8 again for McCaffrey, 8 for Chubb, 8 for Aaron Jones, 7 for Henry, Edwards-Helaire, Kamara, and several other players. Let's talk about fumbles here. Who's been sloppy with the football? Obviously, it's quarterbacks at the top. Phillip Rivers, Alex Smith, Kyler Murray, Pat Mahomes, James White, and Cam Akers there as well. So those are the rushing stats. Receiving the football, let's start with catches. Let's talk about Trey Burton. We've seen him have some big games, and Austin Hooper. Look at that, 1-2 tight ends before you get to Fuller, Landry, Funchess, Keenan Allen, Kittle, Cooper, Uzama, Ridley, Kupp, and then Beckham again, right with Mike Thomas and Devontae Adams. That's pretty good company. So the Browns with 3 players near the top there, which would make sense with Baker's passing prowess, since we've really just dialed in the running game these last couple of weeks. Baker threw for a whole bunch of yards early in the season. For the receiving yards, Keenan Allen almost at 1,000, Hopkins, Cooper, Crowder, then Trey Burton again, then there's Beckham right there, Evans, Thomas, and Hooper rounding out those top 10s. How about receiving touchdowns? Right now, 10 for Odell Beckham. That leads Mike Williams, Edelman, Eifert, and Tyrell Williams. So how about long? I'm always curious to see who's busted one. 93 for Albert Wilson, 87 for McLaurin. We watched that one happen. Zeke had an 86-yarder. I think that was actually against the Browns, actually. T. Higgins had 80 as well. So some explosive plays coming there in that particular game. All right, last but not least here, let's talk about the defense. Jayon Brown, middle linebacker from the Titans, 114 tackles. Eric Kendricks with 114 as well. Okereke with 111. There's Jelani Tavai with 109. Fred Warner, McKinney, Miles Jack. Then you got Goodson, Kwiatkowski, Logan Wilson, and those are your guys who are over 100 tackles at this point on the season. Leading TFLer is DeMarcus Lawrence with 17. Then you're going to have Derek Barnett, Ndamukong Suh, Derek Brown. We've seen a lot of him. And then Hayward. All right, how about sacks here? Myles Garrett. Oh, they're not even going to show Myles. They took him off the board. That's so funny. We'll show you Myles. He has more than this. 17 for Chandler Jones is second, then Calais Campbell, then Von Miller, Jordan, Lawson. Actually, none of the Browns are on the list. Why aren't the Browns on the list? That's very strange. Some sort of weird fluke in the system, but I promise you the Browns are up there. Interceptions. 7 for Adoree Jackson and Desmond King on the same team. How about that for the leading team in the league? No other real surprises here. Maybe Chris Barnes, rookie middle linebacker from the Packers. Pass deflections. Let's talk about Shaq Williams, and there's Shaq Griffin and Greedy Williams right there leading the league in pass deflections, so that's a good sign. When we do get to the Browns game, Kit and I have an update. Greedy Williams actually popped as a superstar, so that's pretty exciting as well. Defensive touchdowns, 2 for Teron Johnson, Tre'Davious White, and then 2 for Desmond King is going to do it. How about the kickers, the lowly kickers? We got to keep them here involved as well, at least the percentage. Right now, your best kicker is Jason Myers, who is 19 of 20. Then you got Suckup, Koo, Gould, Bullock, and there's Parkey, 20 for 22. Perfect Parkey is as well. How about field goal longs this year? We've seen some long ones. Yep, Justin Tucker and Greg DeLeg both with 58. Does anybody? The worst percentage right now is Tyler Bass, who's missed 2 extra points. So, and what the heck? We'll do punters as well. Let's do just average punt per punt. Oop, Gillen is the worst right now. That's too bad. Gillen is the worst at 41 yards per punt. The best right now is Braden Mann, but let's of course do the net average. Gillen is still the worst, and Pat O'Donnell is the best. Anybody had punts blocked this year? 3 people: Matt Hack, Cam Johnston, and Andy Lee. So that is going to do it for the stats. We have seen, we'll do some team stats if you want, if you're curious about the Browns. Obviously they're scoring the most they have the most offensive yards. They have the most pass yards, and they have not super high up the rush yards, but we're trying to get there. They're kind of middle of the pack in rush yards there. How about points per game? They are scoring 27.1 per game, so that's pretty good there. Again, 32.7 for the Titans, just rolling people. Passing touchdowns, 31 for the Raiders and Chargers. Rushing touchdowns, the Titans leading, of course, there with 24. Let's look at a couple of defensive stats as well. Browns second only to the Rams in total yards given up, so that's pretty exciting. They are 4th best in passing yardage allowed and 6th best in rushing yards allowed, with just over 1,000 yards allowed. Again, look at the Titans just absolutely destroying people. In terms of points given up, of course, the Browns have given up a few more points. They're about 10th there on that list. Let's look at this sack list. I told you we check. 56 sacks for the Browns, 43 for the next team, which is the Steelers. Fumbles, your leaders are the Cowboys with 9. And then interceptions, your leaders are the Titans, good lord, with 25. And then the Patriots and several other ones before you get to the Browns, who are not intercepting it about a ton, just 10 for them. So that is a quick look at that. And again, I know you didn't believe me, so I'm going to go back to just the Browns because I need to show you the truth. Understand the truth. Bam! Myles Garrett, new NFL sack leader at 24. Olivier 11.5. Ogunjobi with 10 right now, filling out. And again, not a ton of love for the interceptions so far. 4 of them for the Warden, 2 for Carl Joseph, and 1 for a handful of other players. So that is more stats than many of you probably hung around for. If you are curious, of course, we will take a quick gander as well. Right now, the early run on MVP is Justin Herbert, the rookie, over Cam Newton. So that's pretty interesting. Offensive Player of the Year, obviously, is going to be Herbert. Defensive Player of the Year, obviously, Myles Garrett right now. Rookie of the Year, obviously, Herbert. Logan Wilson's playing some good football. Defensive Player of the Year for rookies. Somehow still Carr is better than Herbert as quarterback. Mayfield currently 4th. Chubb 4th there behind Henry, Jacobs, and Gordon. Beckham right now currently leading for best receiver. Quentin Nelson leading. Looks like Teller is there at number 5 on that list. Garrett obviously the best defensive lineman. Von Miller right now as the best linebacker. Kagan Jackson 1-2, although you see Denzel number 6 on that particular one. So, alright, that's it for all the awards, I promise. We'll let you go on that one. So appreciate everybody being on. Appreciate it again. Kit and I will bring you the Browns and Titans. This game is going to be epic, epic, epic. Right there, 7-4 at 11-0, and it's going to come at you tomorrow live. Hope you can join us for that one. So this has been Phil Nagy, everybody, for Nagy on Sports. And as always, go Browns!